Men often wonder why women are drawn to those who show less interest in them. Isn't it logical that care and attention should be more appealing? But in reality, it's often the opposite. Women are attracted to men who are focused on themselves, not because they want to suffer, but because these men represent something bigger: stability and independence. Coldness and indifference don't always carry negative connotations. When a man doesn't fall for emotional provocations, it shows his maturity and confidence. In this video, I'll explain 5 reasons why women are drawn to men who don't give them much attention, and why this strategy works on an instinctual level. Women from difficult families are drawn to cold men. Many women who grew up in emotionally unstable families struggle with building healthy relationships. They're used to a lack of love and care, which becomes their norm. As a result, they often seek out cold and emotionally unavailable men, as it reminds them of the dynamics they experienced in their childhood. But why these men specifically? Because for them, it's an emotional challenge that needs to be conquered. Not every woman with a difficult upbringing falls into this trap. Some learn to work on themselves and avoid such patterns. However, those who continue to seek cold men often become emotionally dependent. Could this be a conscious choice? No, it's driven by their subconscious. They are trying to repeat a scenario where they have to fight for attention because it's the only way they know. These women are drawn to the chase. A cold man becomes a puzzle to solve. He's complex, he's distant, and that's attractive. But why? Because their emotional comfort zone is based on pain and struggle. It's important to note that not all women fall into this category, but many are influenced by these life scripts. Men focused on themselves inspire admiration. Why do men who focus on their life mission inspire such admiration? The answer is simple. They are confident in themselves and their purpose. Women are instinctively drawn to men who don't put relationships at the center of their lives. These men understand that their success and self-fulfillment are more important than constantly giving attention to a woman. This makes them independent and self-sufficient, which is incredibly attractive. When a man follows his path, he demonstrates resilience and discipline. Women notice that he doesn't get distracted by trivial matters and doesn't try to please anyone but himself. Don't women like caring men? Of course, they do, but care and neediness are different things. A man who doesn't depend on others' approval becomes even more attractive. This type of man doesn't fall for emotional manipulation. He knows what he wants and goes for it without letting temporary distractions get in his way. This sparks not just interest, but admiration. In the end, women see such men as leaders they can follow, not as men who will sacrifice their goals for a relationship. When manipulations don't work, for her it's a mix of admiration and hatred. When a woman realizes that her usual manipulations don't work, she experiences conflicting emotions. On one hand, admiration, and on the other, hatred. Why? Because she's used to controlling the situation. A man who doesn't fall for her games becomes a mystery to her. She might feel frustrated that she can't influence him. But at the same time, his unpredictability is alluring. Do you wonder why such men are so popular? Because they are uncontrollable. Women might hate them for this, but at the same time, they admire their strength and resilience. When a man doesn't react to emotional provocations, he shows his emotional stability and maturity. This makes him especially attractive because a woman understands that her usual strategies aren't working. This leads to a paradox. The less a man succumbs to manipulation, the more a woman is drawn to him. It evokes a mixture of emotions because control gives a woman a sense of security. And when she can control a man, it both scares and attracts her. For a man, this is a sign that resilience and self-control are key qualities in relationships. A man has other options, which makes him more attractive. When a man has multiple options with women, he never gets fixated on just one. Why is this attractive to women? Because it shows his confidence in himself and his value. A man who knows he has choices will never depend on the opinion or attention of a single woman. This makes her feel a sense of competition and pushes her to strive for his attention. How does this work? A woman sees that the man isn't clinging to a relationship, which means he's secure in himself. Even if she denies it, deep down she starts fighting for his attention. The more options a man has, the more powerful he seems. And this isn't about looks or money. It's about the inner confidence that makes a woman see him differently. Of course, not every woman will admit this out loud, but competition for a man's attention always works in his favor. Women instinctively want to catch the eye of a man who isn't focused on just one. This creates a dynamic where the man is always in a position of strength, making him even more attractive. Biological and evolutionary reasons for male distance. Evolutionarily, men were hunters and protectors, and this required them to spend time away from home. They couldn't afford to spend all their time with a woman because their mission was to gather resources and ensure safety. What happens when a man is always around? The woman starts to see it as a sign of weakness. If he's always by her side, then he's not busy with important things. This triggers subconscious anxiety. A man who chooses comfort and emotional attachment over the pursuit of resources becomes less attractive. Women instinctively understand that he's not fulfilling his biological role, and they begin to doubt his ability to secure the future. As a result, a man who's constantly around loses his dominant position in her eyes. When a man gives too much attention to a woman, he begins to produce more female hormones, such as oxytocin, which makes him emotionally dependent. This destroys his masculine appeal and turns him into a needy individual. A man must remember that his life mission should always come first. Otherwise, he loses his masculinity. Men who don't prioritize relationships but focus on their life mission always come out ahead. Independence, resilience, and self-confidence not only make them more attractive, but also allow them to build healthy relationships where they don't lose themselves. Understanding these principles is key to remaining the man women are drawn to, but never dependent on their attention.